Good morning. It's Deacon Don again, and it's June 9th, 2021, on a day that started off fairly gray and rainy, but it's beginning to lighten up a little bit. But this is a good day, perhaps, to take a few minutes, sit back, maybe with a cup of coffee, and reflect a little bit about this life journey that we're on and your relationship that we have with Jesus Christ through this journey. Um, it's a good thing to do, maybe a little bit every day. It's also a time to be able to pray, to be able to keep that communication with Jesus open. So today, I'd like to just spend a few minutes and suggest something to you. Suggest that, sometimes following Jesus Christ seems to be like putting a puzzle together, doesn't it? It's not very easy because much of what Jesus teaches us seems contrary to our nature, and he kind of lets us figure it out. But he gives us the guidelines, he gives us the directions, he gives us the map, if you will, to be able to follow. And his teachings are all those signposts along the way on this journey. But it's our free will whether to take those directions or not, isn't it? Sometimes we hesitate. It may not be the direction we want to take, it may not be the direction that we think is best for us. Perhaps it's fear, perhaps we think we know better. It's kind of like when you're in your car and the GPS is giving us directions and we say, nah, I have a better way. There's some different journey that we can take here that's going to be better for me. Oftentimes that doesn't work out, doesn't it? At least not for me. I find that I end up in the wrong place. I even find out that I may be lost at times. So I don't know about you, but sometimes we have to think about that journey and whether we're following the right directions. The gospel on Monday was a good example of this puzzle. It was from St. Matthew, and he was teaching us about the Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus was saying things like, "Blessed are the poor, blessed are those who mourn, blessed are the meek, blessed are those who are persecuted, blessed are those who are hungry for righteousness." Well, to me, that doesn't necessarily seem very positive. It's against our human nature to be able to want to be that way. So you say, really? Is that what God wants from us? To be happy about being poor, to mourn, to be meek, happy to be persecuted? But we're failing to see the real meaning because Jesus is asking us to trust him and not just trust ourselves. Because the difficulties in life, although they are difficult, and although we do need to face them, in the long run, probably don't matter. He wants us to look beyond them. Even though we must find our way through this life, he never leaves us alone. He always gives us encouragement. He always gives us the guidance that we need. St. Paul, in that same readings for Monday, from the Corinthians, says something fascinating in a very short passage. He says that God encourages us, and he says it no less than 10 times in this short passage. To really make a point, to look beyond the hardships, to look beyond our own desires, and to follow Jesus and share this with others, share this encouragement with others. So we have a choice, don't we? We have a choice to either fear the things that life will always bring our way, to choose what we want rather than what God wants us to do, or to be more than that, to follow his directions, to follow his map, if you will, and to not only persevere, but to gain more in our lives than what our human nature gives us credit for. There was a psalm that I read yesterday from Psalm 143 that really makes a point of this. It says, "Make me know the way that I should walk to you. I lift up my soul. Let your good spirit guide me in ways that are level and smooth." There's always that direction. One of my favorite ball players, and perhaps even in a way a philosopher, was Yogi Berra. Some of you may know of him, some of you may not, but he was a fascinating guy. pretty simple, but he had a way of being able to express things about life in his own way that made a lot of sense. And one of the things he said that I'll never forget, and he said, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. Now, that may sound silly, but it's true. Remember, we have the directions, we have the map that Jesus gives us. So it's our individual choice to follow that map or not. So today, perhaps you might want to just take a minute and think about that. Have a good day.